Hello, I'm Rachel Kahn. Some of you know me from the many programs I made on religion for ABC Radio and TV. In over 1,000 programs, I explore the history of religion, from biblical archaeology and the Dead Sea Scrolls all the way up to the most contemporary spiritual trends. In all that time, I've been a writer on religion in books, newspapers, journals, magazines, and online. My second book, Curious Obsessions, was about the adventurous minds that pushed forward both science and religion. I wanted to demonstrate how those realms of thought are not as divided as people think, but in fact are deeply connected. You see, the same minds that explored the outer reaches of the universe and the inner workings of the human body were inspired by religious belief. Creation wasn't a chaotic and meaningless collection of accidents, but contained inherent laws that governed our existence and could be discovered. And that is what happened. And it might surprise you to know that the discoveries of science also prompted new religions with novel language and practices. You see, the relationship between religion and science has always been a two-way affair, changing each other. The characters that inhabit Curious Obsessions are all fascinating. They could come from Hollywood central casting, from Giordano Bruno and Athanasius Kircher, Paracelsus and Apollonius of Tyana, Orazio Morandi and John Dee, Helena Blavatsky and Rudolf Steiner, Gurdjieff and Vivekananda, to name a few. And going back in antiquity, the Venus of Willendorf, Medea, Inanna, and the Asherah, not to mention the snake goddess of Crete. The utopian dreamers like Thomas More, and their modern-day versions, including Australian adventurers who swept hundreds up in their utopian, perhaps dystopian, visions and nightmares. And yet all these figures, whether renowned psychologist Carl Gustav Jung and popular comparative religionist Joseph Campbell, whether they were fascinated by Eastern spirituality or Celtic myths, they were all deadly serious and by no means fringe, for they influenced a vast number of people and ideas that still have currency today. And speaking of today, our world is turned upside down by COVID, where some old ideas are taking hold again, and they are not all desirable. In fact, some are downright diabolical. So this book might be a good forewarning of how to read our current times. Whether it's magic or utopian visions, whether it's the secret to immortality, that old adage that there is nothing new under the sun is as relevant today and as apt today as when it was written by Ecclesiastes back in antiquity. Therefore, I was so delighted when the ATF Press editors-in-chief Hilary Regan and Alan Cadwallader suggested that I make Curious Obsessions available once again. So now you can read an updated and revised edition of Curious Obsessions in the history of science and spirituality. I guarantee you will find it absorbing, informative, and even entertaining, because the curious mind is an astounding thing.